Get off your feet and on the edge of your seat. News and Views is about to begin now. As always, I'd like to welcome you right here to News and Views. I'm your host, Charlie Hale. Joining me, as always, my three lovely counterparts, Mr. Brian Ireland, Mr. Kamal Dockett.
What is this?
You're stealing his M.O. Fighting Pastor Mark Glenn. That's his M.O. Oh, he changes it up on you.
Yeah, he said, feed me more.
Feed me more. Next time he's going to come in with chopsticks or something. Folks, write us. We want to hear what's on your mind and on your hearts. News and Views, P.O. Box 924, St. Louis, Missouri 63188. That's News and Views, P.O. Box 924, St. Louis, Missouri 63188. Email as well, newsandviews@knlc.tv. Also, check us out on our Facebook and Twitter, our social media sites right there on the screen. We want to hear, once again, what's on your hearts and minds, and share it right here on News and Views. Well, we had some controversy. Who's going to go first this week?
It's all good. I guess I can go.
How you doing, Kamal, by the way?
I'm doing good.
Looking pretty good? You're all warm in your sweater there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's been a little bit chilly outside, so.
Next time you do the double fist there, you need to turn it at Mark. You act like his head's there you go. It's the punching bag. The speed bag.
Do it one time. Come on, do it.
Now he looks so much better.
Thank you.
Plastic surgery.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead, Kamal.
Yes, it's been kind of on my heart to kind of talk about sports. It kind of made me think about some years ago, we used to have the sports corner with Robert, and, you know, we haven't talked about sports in a while.
No, we have boxing with Kamal.
No, we have boxing with Mark and Kamal. So, but yeah, I was thinking about, and I guess it doesn't make as much sense now that the Patriots lost in the Super Bowl. But
who are you hoping for?
The Eagles.
Were you?
Yeah.
How about you, Mark?
Eagles.
Right.
Eagles.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought that up, was that the sports dynasty, the sports dynasty make watching sports not as fun. Like, for instance, you have the Patriots that have won 5 Super Bowls. They've been in 8 Super Bowls of the last, 17 Super Bowls. And then you have, in college, you have Alabama, who's won 5 championships since 2009 and 16 championships also in recent years. And, I mean, to me, does this make watching sports fun when you have this team that people are already saying they're going to be in the Super Bowl, they're going to win the Super Bowl? And I don't know. I guess for me, I just wanted to pose that to the panel of how do you feel about sports dynasties, and does it hurt sports as overall?
I don't think so.
Everybody loves to hate a team.
They love to hate a team. And a lot of people like to root for the underdog.
That's true.
Philadelphia was the underdog.
And I didn't feel like Philly was an underdog. I don't,
They say they were.
Well, of course,
according to
Vegas, that's what I was going to say, according to Vegas. But Philly had been a dominant team all year long. They had really been a good team. And one of the reasons why they were an underdog was because they did this with their backup quarterback. They won the Super Bowl.
Let's talk about Tom Brady for a second. You think he's the best quarterback that ever lived?
No.
Let's ask Mark.
I don't think
he's
so.
The most winning,
let's ask a resident football expert.
He's the most winningest quarterback. I don't know because I think that, I don't know, it's been some issues about cheating, and it's been other issues about sports enhancements. It's been using deflated balls. It's been a lot of little things coming up.
So you think that's why they lost this year? The ball was actually inflated.
That's probably one of the reasons why. And then they couldn't steal anybody's signs. You know, the year that they years ago they were stealing people's signs. Signals and plays and everything, and this actually came out. This
that's facts.
This was not a fake. You know, this actually came out, and they had to. And then Tom Brady, we know, I think it was last year, or was it this year? He had to. He was suspended for 4 games. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I don't see him. In my opinion,
if you don't think Tom Brady's the greatest, who do you think is the greatest?
Oh, that's good. That's pretty good.
Mark.
I don't know. I like, I don't know. I don't have a really favorite.
Do you know, who the quarterbacks are?
Yeah.
I
can't name one other.
For you to even say you don't think he's the greatest, you got to know who it is.
Well, I just said I don't think he's the greatest.
Dan Fouts.
Oh, no.
Dan Fouts, the San Diego Chargers. Mark, you won't know any of the names.
What about Joe Montana?
He was
San
decent.
Francisco 49ers.
Right. He was decent.
Right.
I recognize that name.
He was decent.
Yes, I do.
Do you watch football at all?
I do seldomly.
Any sport?
Seldomly.
What about Brett Favre?
I know
he's still playing, so it's hard to say to me if you're
He's not still playing. He's retired.
No, yeah.
Favre. I'm thinking about the other guy. That's I wouldn't say he's the greatest.
He's one of them.
I think he's good, but I don't,
I think Joe Montana's one of the best.
Joe Montana. Some may say Dan Marino, but he didn't win a Super Bowl, so that's tainted his. But I just think.
What about what's his name that talks all the time with Howie Long? What's his name?
Terry
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw.
About him?
He was pretty good.
But who's the best? Do you say?
I don't know. I would have to really kind of research that as far as stats wise, but we know Tom Brady as a quarterback has won more championships.
I'm
going to
have to give it to Tom Brady, even though I don't like the team he plays for. I absolutely despise them.
Cowboys?
No, I despise the team that he plays for just because they are cheaters. But I think he's good. He's got to have receivers. They know what to do to put people in line to help him win. So he's a good quarterback. You got to give it to him.
So I don't think there's too much you can do about football. Who determines? But in the college, what they're saying is that they think that the SEC is being favored at championship time. Because typically, when championship time, you can pick 4 teams. And typically, 2 of those teams come out the SEC. And many people are saying, well, should there be a playoff to allow other teams to be able to be in this championship and not just Alabama?
And what do you think?
I think, it should be a playoff because these are kids and it's too much
Trying
money.
To penalize Alabama because they're so good?
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm just asking. They work hard. They obviously recruit. Beat them. They obviously recruit well. Kids want to go there because they have a winning program. They have good coaches.
That is true. That could be true to some degree, but these are kids, and it's still college, and none of them are getting paid. And I think there should just be a playoff to allow teams to be able to make it to the championship.
So
not just
picking,
where you only picking 4. They're talking about actually having like a 16-team, 8 games that lead off like you do football.
Right.
They're not just picking the Patriots. Alabama is being picked every year, regardless of whether they got a perfect season or not. They lost the game,
but it would look worse if they lost. But since they won, it's like, they picked the right team.
Well, of course, now after the fact that they won the national championship, but they didn't have the best record in college football. There were other teams that had better records than them, but yet and still they didn't get picked. So I think that the SEC has been. The committee automatically picks teams out of the SEC, and they don't really look at other divisions. And I think that's not a good thing.
Mark's been surprisingly quiet.
Right.
He's not a football guru.
No, I'm not. Now, yes, which one I do watch. I watch a lot of boxing.
I was just going to say boxing. We obviously
boxing and Jello wrestling.
Well, who's your favorite boxer then, Mark?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who?
Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
I was going to say Bruce Sutter.
Oh, wow.
Who's an old stopper for the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1982.
Right.
I don't remember him.
You don't?
I don't remember him.
Actually, he threw the last pitch when they struck out the guy when they won the World Series in 1982.
I remember that.
Yeah, Bruce Sutter.
I don't remember that.
He was notorious for the split finger fastball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so Dan Mayweather, is that what you said?
No,
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd. Why is he your favorite?
I think it's determination, and I think also because of his reputation. He has a real bad reputation.
For being women.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he has a real bad reputation.
Went to jail.
And I guess I
Floyd
have hope.
Mayweather?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in prison time.
Right, and he's also, that's why you don't see a lot of commercials with him in it. Right?
That's why he's your favorite?
No, it's not.
But he's the richest, I can tell you that.
Whoa!
No, I think
Beat women, that's why he's his favorite.
No, that's why I was surprised. I was like, I'm surprised he's your favorite.
No,
you're a pastor.
Well, he's my.
Shots fired.
I am a pastor, and I'm in the fighting pastor. Let me remind you. But the reason why I say he's my favorite is because he's the
See?
one. I'm going to
He's explaining himself.
I'm going to explain myself.
Then we're going to go to a break.
The reason why is because I feel kindred with him to pray for him, right, and have him under Jesus Christ and have his salvation. So
Yeah, he was at the Super Bowl too. He had a.
was he?
He had a.
I didn't see that.
He had a big old fur coat on. Yeah, wasn't it like a big top hat
on
or
the
something?
inside, in the inside. But I like Floyd. He pretty decent. But I like Benoit Hopkins better because Benoit Hopkins went to prison for like 10 years and came back. And
I'm going Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody could stand up against him when he was in his prime.
that's true.
He didn't want nobody out there. He was fighting old men.
He beat them all.
He was not.
He wasn't fighting nobody. When he finally started
Pound
fighting
for punch,
people,
he had the
started
strongest
getting knocked
punch
out
in
when
boxing.
Yeah, but he beat a lot of good. He beat Larry Holmes.
Yeah, Larry Holmes was 50 years old when he
He
fought.
was not.
Yes, he
Larry
was.
Holmes came back. Larry Holmes made a comeback when he was 40.
Ali and Mike Tyson.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
I know.
Back in the 70s. He fought him in the 90s.
Well, Larry Holmes
when he
only
was
beat Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali was done.
Right. Stop it.
Come on.
I like Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's the best. I would say I would give it to Muhammad Ali, though.
Okay.
We'll be back.
In August 1931, Nat Turner struck fear into the hearts of white Southerners by leading the only effective slave rebellion in U.S. history. Born on a small plantation in Southampton, Virginia, Turner inherited a passionate hatred of slavery from his African-born mother and came to see himself as anointed by God to lead his people out of bondage. In early 1831, Turner took a solar eclipse as a sign that the time of a revolution was near. And on the night of August 21st, he and a small band of followers murdered his owners, the Travis family, and set off toward the town of Jerusalem, while they planned to capture an armory and gather more recruits. The group, which eventually numbered around 75 blacks, murdered some 60 whites in 2 days before armed resistance from local whites and the arrival of state militia forces overwhelmed them just outside of Jerusalem. Some 100 slaves, including innocent bystanders, lost their lives in the struggle. Turner escaped and spent 6 weeks on the lam before he was captured, tried, and hanged. Nat Turner.
Welcome back. You're just tuned in. You've been watching News and Views. We just heard from Kamal Dockett, and we're still having the battle over the best boxer that's ever boxed in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And Kamal thinks it's Larry Holmes, but I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I think definitely Muhammad Ali.
By far, you got to give it to him. He'd call a shot.
Yeah, he lost a lot, though. Muhammad Ali lost a lot of fights. He lost to Trevor Berbick.
Yeah,
he
but
lost to Larry
Look
Holmes.
think about all the ones he called the shots on. He fought some people, man. He didn't fight no chumps.
And he would name what round they were going out on.
I think George Foreman was better than Ali.
But you have to understand something about Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali put George Foreman on the canvas for the only time he's ever been on the canvas.
George Foreman fought for like 40 years. He fought well into his 50s.
George Foreman was great. George Foreman was one of my favorites.
But gentlemen, it's not the steak, it's the sizzle. And Muhammad Ali added sizzle to boxing.
Well, that's true.
You kind of look like George Foreman a little bit.
Yeah, you look like Muhammad Ali too.
Must be the bald head.
Let's get going.
Definitely in the body.
This is too much violence in News and Views.
Go ahead there, Pinky.
Hillary Clinton has come under a lot of scrutiny lately, and I guess
lately it's been going on for years.
I know, but
lately.
In this case, the Me Too movement, they're saying that Hillary Clinton should not really be speaking out in this movement because she kind of sat silently by while Bill Clinton had all of his problems. So
he had problems?
He had a few.
Oh, wow.
So, Mark, do you think that Hillary should just be quiet, or do you think that Hillary has just as much of a right to speak out about sexual abuse and harassment as anybody else?
Can I ask you why you're asking him first? Because he's the biggest.
Well,
he's a
no,
Democrat on the panel.
No, he had the
Hillary
Hillary T-shirt on.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely in Hillary's corner.
And I think that just because Bill was a womanizer, does that mean that Hillary doesn't have a right to speak because she didn't divorce him? That's what her criticism is. It's like, how can you stand up for these women who were saying they were abused when you were kind of abused by Bill and didn't do anything yourself?
Well, but we have to understand something too, is that was politics. I think she actually went through a lot of pain, right?
What, from the womanizing?
Yeah, I think she did. But I think that because of the politics of the day and the politics of him being president, she didn't say anything, right? Most of the women you have coming out are not, some of them are politicians, but most of them are not.
Well, they're actresses, they're whatever they are, or behind the scenes even.
Right. Right, but I think because of politics, that's why she didn't speak out. So I would like to possibly hear what she thought about it. And understand something. With the information that's come out, not fake news, but real news about Hillary and how she tried to own the DNC and everything else, and how she bribed this. I'm really, really, really disappointed. So my fan level for Hillary has gone down quite a bit.
Oh, wow.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Why?
I have to admit that.
Because of the Me Too movement?
No, not the Me Too movement, but because of her power grabs. Right, she tried to own the DNC. Right,
well, if they were a disorganized mess,
right,
she probably needed to straighten them up.
But she didn't organize it. I mean, she did things to me that were underhanded and low down to Bernie Sanders. I'm sorry.
Right, but I've been telling you that for 2
right,
years.
But all of a sudden he's changing.
Right, all of a sudden, I've been praying for
I
him
wouldn't say
to see the light. So now God been working on his heart that Hillary is crooked. But
strong.
I don't really agree. I don't really agree. I think that Hillary knew it was, she knew probably what was going on with Bill Clinton, and I think that she saw her own career being diminished if he was being diminished.
If he didn't win.
Well, I'm talking about he was already the
president.
president.
Was protecting him?
Right. I think she was protecting her own career.
I agree.
Because to me, she knew that she wanted to evade, because at the time she was not senator. She was not running for president, but I'm quite sure she had those aspirations to want to get to those levels back then.
Well, they're saying Bill was cheating even before he ran for
president.
Oh, yeah,
no, they're talking about all the way back in Arkansas when he was governor of Arkansas.
So the Me Too people are like, well, Hillary, if you're a feminist, why weren't you
calling out your husband? Because of politics. She knew darn well Bill was going to probably be president. Yes, on this part I do. Right? I think it's politics, and she knew she was going to run for president. She said, I better keep my trap shut about this until I become president.
You think she knew she was going to run for president that far back?
I think so.
I mean, she probably knew. She probably didn't know president, but she had aspirations.
Right, higher office.
Because a lot of times when people are in those positions where your husband is the governor, he has aspirations for being a president. She knows that this is a trickle down effect. That the higher he goes, the better that's going to position me in my career.
So, Brian? You think?
Well, I don't know. Is it more important for your career or your pride?
Well, some of the women
been cheated on again and again and again.
But some of the women in the Me Too movement said what? I couldn't come out and speak against this and what happened to me because I had to feed my children, or because I was going to lose my job, or because of my career. So why should Hillary be any different? Even so, they're in the spotlight, right? Governorship and then the president, right? They're in a big spotlight. So if these other women in the Me Too movement say, wait a minute, I got to eat, my children got to eat, I got to pay bills, I want to protect my career, I can't speak out.
Because what if Hillary would have divorced Bill back years ago, back when he was still governor? We would have never heard from her.
No.
Well, she's smart and...
No, you wouldn't have heard from her. She would
always be divorced. Lots of women or senators who weren't married to presidents.
She rose to the top off the heels of Bill Clinton, off her husband.
We don't know.
We do know.
Claire McCaskill wasn't married to a president, and she's a senator. How did she make it without being married to a president?
We're not talking about Claire McCaskill. We're talking about Hillary Clinton has made it to a higher level than Claire McCaskill.
I know, but I'm saying
because Claire McCaskill,
she could have at least been senator without Bill.
If
all these other women were able to make senator without Bill.
Not under a scandal. Not under a scandal.
Right, you get divorced.
Well, no, she would be they'd be sympathizing with her because of the scandal. They wouldn't hold that against Hillary.
She would have been crushed.
Bill
they would have crushed her 20 years ago.
And I'm not going to stand for a man cheating on me.
If she would have tried to divorce Bill, she would have been crushed 20 years ago, and we would have never heard. Hillary wouldn't even been a household.
And then if she came out against Bill, you say, well, you can't trust Bill. You probably can't trust Hillary either.
Well, that's what they say now. I'm saying if she would have stood up to say, listen, this man's been cheating on me, and I'm not going to accept being cheated on. I'm going to be a strong, independent woman. A lot of people would be attracted
but then
to
you
that.
can say that about Greydon's wife. Why she not coming out?
Well, I don't know. I don't think she has political aspirations. I mean, she
But I'm
could.
talking about what difference does it make? She's a role model. So you're saying that it's okay if you have political aspirations. That's why Hillary didn't.
No, I'm saying you should be consistent. Whether you have political aspirations, you're just a lady who's a maid. There's something to be said for not just being a doormat for your husband.
But can you agree the fact that if you're in a certain position and you know that you're going to certain levels, sometimes most people, a lot of times, not most people, some people keep their mouth shut because they'd rather take this bullet knowing that they're going to go to a higher level in years to come.
I mean, I guess that's for each individual woman to decide what she'll put up with.
Because why would you be mad at Hillary? I mean, she doesn't have to be the one.
How can Hillary say, it's me, I'm with Me Too, when she was in the batter's box, she bailed.
She was a victim.
She didn't say anything.
She was a victim.
No, she made excuses. As a matter of fact, a lot of people say that
I thought a lot of victims make excuses.
She helped slander some of the women who were saying that Bill raped them. Yeah. That Hillary actually targeted the victims of Bill. So she was not only just standing there, she was like
after him.
Right, she'd go after him. So now
she protected her husband.
Put that power on him.
Yeah, now that
how we don't know if she was fed a particular lie in order to say what she was saying. And I'm not like a Hillary fan. I'm not.
Is Kamal defending Hillary Clinton? That's the question I have. I've never thought that things have changed.
Kamal's defending Hillary. Mark is slamming Hillary.
There's a change.
I'm not standing up for Hillary. All I'm saying is that she could. The primary source of that came from Bill. Okay. Bill was the aggressive one. This man sleeping around with women. He was. Of course, at some point she found out. However, she found out. But at that point, she probably thinking, I got a career to protect, and I'm going to protect it. And that's the decision she made.
What happens to the song Stand By Your Man?
Okay.
Right?
So you think she should have just divorced him?
Stand by me.
No, I'm just saying what the criticism is of her. I'm not really saying either way. I think that's each individual.
Criticize
I don't think she knew she was going to go for president.
I think that's each individual woman's
They would have
choice.
criticized. If she would have left her husband 20 years ago, they would have criticized her for that. You should have stayed by him.
Yep. Damn if you do and damn if you don't.
Right, so she did what she did, and now she's at the top of the political game.
She's just not the president.
She fell short.
Nor will she ever be.
That might be a good thing.
Nor will she
That might be a good thing. That might be best for the world.
That might be best for the world.
Wow.
Next thing you know, next show, Mark's going to say he's Republican.
Yeah.
Well, no, never happens.
We'll be back.
52 years ago, a crowd of onlookers saw a 21-year-old African-American man and his mother being arrested by the California Highway Patrol, thus precipitating the Watts riots and eventually Black Lives Matter. A patrolman struck a man named Fry on the head with a baton, knocking him unconscious, and the gathering crowd saw police brutality. The police sealed off most of South Central Los Angeles. It took some 3,900 National Guardsmen to quell the 6 days of unrest. The riot claimed 34 deaths and more than 1,000 injuries. Millions of property damage was sustained, and it went on. While much has changed since the Watts riot, surprising, there is a sobering distinction between the traffic stop in 1965 and current-day cases in the news, such as Walter Scott in North Carolina, Michael Brown here in Ferguson, Missouri, and Eric Garner in Staten Island, New York, and others whose cases have made headlines. That's what we mean about Black Lives Matter, and that's our history lesson for today.
So, if you were a Super Bowl fan and you watched the Super Bowl, some people watch this for the commercial, some people watch for the game. I watched for both, and I was a little impressed and then a little saddened by the commercial. It's for Dodge Ram. It features the voice of Martin Luther King 50 years ago, February 4th, when he did a speech. And we're going to play that and then come back and talk about
it. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know the theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace. Soul generated by love.
I thought it was a terrific commercial. I never heard King give this speech before. And it just seems so powerful when he talks about the greatest among you will serve. And if you want to do something, the greatest among you is a servant, which is actually what Jesus also said too. But it just sounded so great to hear him say that. And some of the images were just so powerful, the firemen and other images they gave. But the one image that kind of bothered me a little bit, and it may have only been like maybe three shots, maybe 1 second apiece, was Dodge Ram. Built to serve was the slogan in it, right? I think it would have been a wonderful commercial, a great idea if we just took the commercialization of Dodge Ram out of it. So I open up to the panelists.
I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
I agree. I don't think Martin Luther King gave that speech thinking that he was going to be used to sell trucks. Come on.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
In 30 years, we're going to sell Dodge trucks based on this important, deep speech.
But you had to go beyond saying that they were trying to sell a Dodge truck to say that they were trying to promote the act of serving. That Dodge Ram
they could have kept the Dodge truck out.
Dodge Ram is a part of.
But
well,
they
Dodge
still
is
want to buy a Dodge truck.
You're not gonna pay $2 million for a commercial and don't show your product in.
So you're trying to sell trucks. You're still patting yourself on the back.
Yeah,
Look
but
at us,
they
Dodge
Dodge
Ram.
Ram trucks for maybe 3 to 4 seconds.
He's not appropriate.
In that case, they could have put Dr. King image on the truck and drove around the truck.
It's the same thing as doing that. Like,
no, I don't agree. I think that
maybe they're trying to get into a specific market. Maybe they're trying to target African American.
I don't think so.
Community
I think that it was.
Dodge
Well,
Ram.
for one thing, it's Black History Month, and then secondly, when they opened up with the commercial, you didn't even know it was Dodge commercial until the end of it.
So they should have cut the end out.
The end of it. And basically, it was an inspiring commercial
until Dodge
to make you want to serve as an American.
Well,
and then it's linking Dodge Ram to the fact that Dodge Ram has served many people.
To the African American community
also.
I didn't feel it as if it was African American.
And I didn't either.
I didn't feel it because that's like saying taking a Kennedy speech and saying, "Oh, just linking to white people." I can't. I don't like doing that. I just think Dr. King was an American icon.
They shouldn't be used
that
in a
go beyond just the African American community.
He shouldn't be used in a commercial. Well, let's put a Dr. King hologram of him driving the Dodge Ram truck next time.
See, you take
it's the same thing.
You guys really have a problem with this?
I'm the only one who does. They don't. He doesn't.
I don't think it was.
You have a problem with it?
Yeah.
Why?
Dr. King was giving
Why do you have a problem with it? I don't
He was
understand
giving this inspirational speech that is now being lifted and thrown into a silly football commercial.
Come on, I don't call it silly. I don't call it silly.
Let's have respect. Some things have to be sacred. Some things have to be.
So what if it was Kennedy?
Anything.
Do you have a problem with the Kamal?
I didn't have a problem with the commercial.
I think it's
even
tacky.
when I saw it, I thought
tacky.
he's taking it too far. I thought that the commercial was inspiring. It was probably the most inspiring commercial. But the fact that they were trying to promote Dodge Ram, that kind of tainted it a little bit. But I thought it was inspiring.
Yeah. How about you, Mark?
I thought it was inspiring. I didn't like the little Dodge part in it, but I understood it, right? And I understood the correlation they're trying to make. King was talking about the greatest
correlation?
Thing. Well, King
and
said,
you do know in that speech he actually said that he was talking against spending money on things you don't need.
Yes,
consuming.
He did say that.
Like but how we know King wouldn't be at the Super Bowl if he was alive today? He might even be at the Super Bowl.
He might be at the Super Bowl, but he wouldn't be hawking trucks.
Well, he got to drive a car. I mean, Dr. King had a car. I mean, we take stuff too far. You telling me Dr. King walked everywhere he went?
No, but it's mixing. Right. It's mixing something that was
right. Exactly. The man had to have a car. He had to have clothes in the house.
I think it's exploiting.
But right, and I gotta agree with Brian a little bit.
Oh, you just switched. We never know what you're gonna do. You're gonna be Republican again.
That's why. Go like this and sting like a bee.
He sticks and moves.
Sticks and
like
moves.
A butterfly, sting like a bee.
He liked the beginning. He didn't like the end. That's what he's saying. He liked it.
But I don't have a problem with it at all.
But the one thing it did do is it brought up the inspiration of Dr. King again.
Okay.
Right. So we're talking about the Dodge truck, yes, but we're also talking about Dr. King and his work. And also his greatest line in that whole thing was, "It's good to serve."
And that it is. You've been watching News and Views, folks. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Thank you, Pastor Mark Glenn, Kamal Dockett, Brian Ireland, and myself, your host, Charlie Hill. We'll catch you next time right back here on News and Views. God bless.